In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business.
Let's go. Yes. Dude, Republicans, that means keep your nose out of fucking kids' genitalia. You fucking stupid asses. I'm just going to tap in right there. Legislating morality is exhausting on people. It wears people out. It's tumultuous and unpleasant. But what I will say right now is there's an enthusiasm. There's an enthusiasm now that is super refreshing, where even the far, far left people feel like heard. And the people who are mad about Joe Biden are like getting over it because they're seeing that, oh, all right, like this actually feels pretty good. We're all coming together. And what's more, though, there's a feeling that there's room for more. You know what I mean? Where it's not just us fighting them. It's kind of like if some of them want to come join us, we got room for you guys too. Which is like, I don't know, when you have one guy talking about getting rid of all the undocumented workers to where maybe we won't have fruit and meat on our plates anymore because he's trying to deport everybody feeding us. This whole idea of having room for more people feels really good, and it feels like exactly what we need right now to combat Donald Trump, because Donald Trump feeds on negativity. So when we were all like mad at Joe Biden or people didn't really like Hillary, Donald Trump like ate that shit up. But this whole like wow, we have each other and there's room for more, and there's this feeling of abundance and enthusiasm is in abundance. That kind of renders Donald Trump powerless. He didn't know how to fight that. He knows only how to feed on negativity. So I don't know if this is like necessarily the greatest kickoff, but it feels like the right kickoff for now. It feels like Kamala and Tim Walz and what's going on right now, even Joe Biden stepping down, it feels like right now they are tapping into the exact kind of energy that we need to vanquish this divisive stain that has been, hanging out. It's like this black mold that's been creeping up our walls that is about negativity and animosity and divisiveness and separatist kind of vibes and like exclusionary and controlling and, domineering. And now there's enthusiasm and compassion and connection in abundance, where there's so much of it that black mold now feels like, yes, like a stain remover. It feels like we got enough resources to just smear that shit off the wall forever. And it feels like perfect. Maybe it's not the greatest, but it does feel like it is perfect for right now. Like exactly what we need right now. And what's really interesting is it kind of reminds me of some things in my life. The time when I was at a crossroads and I was grappling with addiction, and I was grappling with my music career and an inability to have good relationships. And then I had a kid and this crazy responsibility and this other human being. And it was overwhelming and it was weird. And it was like, it was not what I thought I wanted, but it was the exact right thing for me at that time. And it got me sober. And then, many years later, right, 8 years later, I met a woman that was the exact right thing at the exact right time. And then, 6 years after that, I started playing Fortnite. And it was the exact right thing at the exact right time, right? And now, several years later, I'm starting brand new with this whole new thing. But I'm telling you right now in my bones, what I'm doing right now is the exact right thing at the exact right time for me. So I've had a lot of experience of those like moments. And this feels like one of those moments, man. It feels like the vibes are the exact right vibes, man. And Trump is going down, dude. And Trumpism is going to crash and burn, okay? We are strong. and diverse and amazing. We're not going to give in to that shit. I'm so sick of this idea that the doom and gloomers wearing like Trump flags and shit around their fucking necks are the patriots. Like, come on, bro. We're literally fighting for healthcare and education and union jobs and affordable housing and everybody being able to have a good life and own some property. Like, nothing gets more patriotic than that. You know what I'm saying? But this idea that the people that are sitting around all day talking about America being a third world country, that's not patriotism. That's like somebody trying to infect the country with resentment and animosity. That ain't patriotism. Patriotism is acknowledging who we are and then getting together and getting better. It's not about just bad-mouthing the whole country. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
And in 91 days,
he's going to be vice president.
Nation will know Coach Walz by another name, Vice President of the United States.
Let's go. Dude, Walz is getting one of those black jobs, right? He's going to be vice president of the United States. Right? He's getting one of those black jobs that Trump likes to talk about. Oh, let's go. Yeah, baby. Let's go.
We will win.
Dude, I am hyped, bro.
I thank you,
Hyped.
Josh. I thank you.
All right, now before we get into this, let's take a minute to absorb the tonal difference, because we're not going to hear America is shit. We're not going to hear that we have no future. We're not going to hear that, immigration is going to kill us all and having rights is going to be the end of it. We're not going to hear a steady stream of America being a hopeless third world country that's not going to exist 4 years from now. What we're going to hear is we're going to hear a story about all of us belonging here and all of us having a right to be patriots and work together, man, to milk this country and make it, the greatest for all of us. We're all going to come into the village and grab hold of some shit and do work together. Be good human beings to each other and uplift each other and let others uplift us. And together we go to the fucking moon, baby.
Coach Walz was approached by a student in his social studies class.
Now we're here.
Young
Let's
man
go.
was one of the first openly gay students at the school and was hoping to start a gay-straight alliance.
It's so huge of
At
a football coach to be the ally there. Like, that's really big.
For LGBTQ
really
students,
big.
Tim knew the signal that it would send to have a football coach get involved.
That's just so big, right? You know what I mean? So big. Huge. Right? Like, that's the kind of allyship we need. When you look at somebody like Donald Trump and the way he operates with a hierarchy is he always places himself at the top level and everybody around him is like subservient to him. Right down to when he was like pushing world leaders around and like moving through the room and shit when he was in Europe. Everybody has to sort of grovel and be below Donald Trump. And that sort of reeks of incompetence and insecurity when you have that sort of leadership style where people have to sort of cower and kiss the ring and like sit below you in order to be accepted. And one of the things I love about Kamala Harris is she's not threatened by Tim Walz going out there and being huge. She doesn't need him to be second fiddle to her. She is running for president, and she will let him go out and be a huge, equally ginormous political figure, if not bigger. And she's not threatened at all by that. It doesn't diminish her capacity to be the leader, to be in charge. And that kind of energy is like so refreshing because it's one of the things that we've been trying to combat socially, which is this idea of like having this hierarchy where the person at the top has to be like the ultimate figure when they don't. They can just sit in the shadow and let everybody beneath them inflate to that big. You know what I'm saying? She's not forcing him to be her second, like Donald Trump went out there and said, the VP choice doesn't even matter. Remember that? At the NABJ when they asked him about the VP and he was like, it doesn't even matter who you pick. To him, the VP is just some scribbling underneath his Sharpied signature. Whereas to Kamala Harris, the VP can be bigger than her and she's not threatened by it. She's going to let him be him. And she's not intimidated by his size and his power. And man, that is a good leader, bro. That's how you win. That's how you win football games. Coaches do that. Coaches, they'll tell you, like if you went to Bill Belichick, he would probably admit that there were times that Tom Brady was the guy coaching that team. And Belichick just went off and sat in the shadows and let Tom Brady coach the fucking team. There were times when that happened. And Bill just knew those times. And like that is a style of leadership that is generational talent when you let that shit happen, when you know how to do that. I had not really noticed it, but I'm like, man, I'm really liking that vibe. Dude, I'm loving that vibe. That shit is powerful, man.
He's not going back. Well, Donald Trump would damn sure take us backwards. Let's be clear about that.
Dude, they are. Dude, the crowd is like, I love how the crowd's getting into it and they're letting him in, right? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like there's, again, it's not like they're all their lackeys whose job is just to clap, right? They're there with them. Man, this is a populist movement, dude.
And don't believe him when he plays dumb. He knows exactly what Project 2025 will do to restrict our freedom.
Yeah, he does. 140 of his people are working on that shit. He knows about it. Dude, he's licking his chops over it.
When Vice President and I talk about freedom, we mean the freedom to make your own healthcare decisions.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
And for our children to be free to go to school without worrying they'll be shot dead in their classrooms.
Yeah. Let's go. And not be told to fucking get over it, right? By some orange-headed Cheerio motherfucker.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale. Had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires. And then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on. That's not what middle America is. And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy.
Dude, I would like to debate J.D. Vance, dude.
That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see. You know how this works. We can't do it alone. We need you, each and every one of you.
That's big, right? Just that alone, you know how this is. We need you, every one of you. Not that whole Trumpian, if you don't vote for me, you're all and the whole country's gonna disappear. They're like, we need you, because it's true. These guys are not the answer. They are not the cure. They are not the solvers of all the American issues. They're just people that we want to vote for to advance our agenda, which is an agenda that takes care of people, helps us buy property, get an education, and get a union job or a high-paying job, and be able to have the freedom to be who the we want and who we are without worrying about the government coming in. It's not rocket science, really.
Go over to KamalaHarris.com, get on board, because we need you.
We do.
Freedom to make our own choices. This leader,
There it is.
This-
Sign up. Put in a couple hours.
compassionate, careful, joyous leader, believes in each and every one of you.
Look at that. Dude, we're feeling it. Crazy shit happens when you start believing in the possibility.